Hello. Today, let's talk about the art of plain talk, or as the APA publication manual calls it, economy of expression. Basically, your sentences will be more readable if you use the active rather than the passive voice, if you use the simple tenses, past and present, to the compound, if you put modifying clauses, phrases, and words in their most logical position, and if you hold down the average length of your sentences. Also, your word choice will be clearer. If you prefer the familiar word to one that sounds educated, if you use the concrete, specific words instead of abstract and general, vague terms. If you choose the single word instead of the roundabout, many-worded phrase, and if you use the short word instead of the long. Also, avoid shop talk or jargon when you're writing to laymen. Let's go over a couple of examples. Here are some hints for improving your writing style. Too many of us are like Robert Louis Stevenson's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We have two different persons in one body. We speak one way and write another. When we write, we often smother our meaning in turgid verbalism. I like that phrase because those two words put together actually define what turgid verbalism is. Nobody talks that way. We forget that good communication is like a great painting. It must have a quality of simplicity. So why do we say this, commodious, when we could say, and this is what we mean, roomy? Why say conjecture when the simple word will do, guess? Why say endeavor? And the tiny little word try works better. Fabricate. What would you say? Build or make? There's a fancy word, flamboyant. Doesn't come up too much in technical writing. But what we mean is showy. Indigenous. Why not say native? Optimum, that sounds technical, but what we mean is best. Superfluity, too much. Unique. Usually we misuse this word, so just use the uncommon. Utilize. This was huge back in the, 80s, 90s. Everything was utilize this, utilize that. And use is just the simpler term that makes, that's just more common, makes more sense. Okay, here are wordy expressions, and this is what those first rules at the top are trying to say. When we have, we use too many words when just a few will work. Again, I think this isn't because we're trying to sound more educated or maybe more formal. But we have a four-word phrase, a large number of, and a one word. Just the one word many will do just as well. For almost never, one word, seldom. How about a majority of? Can you think of one word that will take the place of these three? Simple word, most. Along the lines of, four-word expression means the same thing as like. Are of the opinion, we are of the opinion, you would say simply, we believe, we think. At all times, what's one word that means at all times? Always. Here's a four-word expression, at the present time. What do we mean at the present time? Right now, today. Despite the fact that, doesn't that sound, a little bit pompous when just although will work? Due to the fact that, sounds like lawyer talk or legalese. And what we really mean is because in order to can be replaced just simply by to. In the event that four-word phrase replaced by just this two little letters, if. In the near future, soon. Just a few more here. To make a study of, just simply to study. To take into consideration. Why do you need that to take into? It's just to consider or to think about. With reference to, about. Another easy rule, just avoid beginning a sentence with it. I mean, it's not a real rule. You can begin sentences with it, but most of the time, as you see in these expressions, the phrasing is not necessary. It is clear that, it has long been known that, it has come to my attention that, this is letter E's that you just don't need at all. Most of the time I think these expressions come at the beginning because we don't know how to begin. And just jumping right into the main idea for some reason feels abrupt or awkward. But believe me, for clarity of writing, for clear expression, we just want to jump right into that main idea. Why begin? It is interesting to note that. Just give the main idea and let the reader see for himself or herself that it is interesting. It is evident. It may be said that. Well, yes, just go ahead and say it. Just skip that little phrase and spit it out. Here's kind of a fun little exercise on wordiness. Well, if we were in a face-to-face class, I'd pass this out and we'd actually play this game to see who can reduce this to the elemental message, to the essence of the idea that this writer wants to express to Mr. Carter. To play this game, cross out all unnecessary words. Minor editing is allowed. You can add a word if necessary to eliminate several words. Don't rewrite the whole letter. I'm going to read through it quickly, and then we'll just go through and see what we can, how we can condense. Dear Mr. Carter, permit me to take this opportunity to offer our sincere thanks for your letter which I have just received and for your request for information about our products. In reply, I wish to state that we shall be more than happy to send you product brochures and other descriptive literature such as specifications and price quotations. May I point out that different kinds of information are available, and it is possible that you may find that not all of them are useful for your purposes. Please find enclosed herewith a list of the literature available at this time, and which will enable you to decide which ones you want. A lot of whiches there. Because of the fact that temporarily supplies of some of the brochures are limited, please permit us to suggest that you mark the ones you want on the list and send it by return mail to this office in the enclosed, self-addressed, stamped envelope as soon as it is convenient for you. In addition, please permit me to state that in the future we shall always be glad to provide answers to any of your questions about our products. Please do not hesitate to write us whenever you have a need for information which we can send to you. Don't you kind of picture sort of a timid timid little speaker here who's just being overly polite and overly deferential and kind of nervous maybe. So let's go through and paragraph by paragraph just eliminate what we don't need. In this first paragraph, what is the actual, what we're looking for here is thank you. We want to keep thank you. We don't have to thank for the letter, but we can thank you for your requested information. So let's take out everything we don't need. And just say thank you for your request for information about our products. All right, let's do that with the second one. The main idea is, okay, in reply, I wish to state that we shall be more than happy to send you, all right, we're going to send you some product brochures. So let's just, we don't need that whole line here. Take that out. We're going to send product brochures and other descriptive literature such as specifications and price quotations. That's what the reader wants to know. May I point out that different kinds of information are available. It's possible you may find that not all of them, okay, you don't need any negatives here at all. Let's just take that out, let the reader determine for himself. And so we have, make this into a sentence, our product brochures and other descriptive literature such as specifications and price quotations are enclosed. Or if this were an email, you would say attached. Okay, what else is enclosed? A list of the literature available. I think what they mean here is probably an order form. So let's just say, because here it says, I think this is the important part here. Mark the items you want on the list and return it to us. And we provided you a self-addressed enclosed envelope. Let's reduce all of this to also see the enclosed order form. Simply mark the products you want. You don't have to say, well, yeah, on the list. And send it by return mail? No. And return, let's keep that. You don't need to say to this office. And return you tell them that they have the enclosed self-addressed stamped envelope. We don't have to say as soon as it's convenient for you. So what do we have here? Also see the enclosed order form. So the last thing we said was our product brochures and other descriptive literature such as specifications and price quotations are enclosed or attached. Also see the enclosed order form. Simply mark the products you want on the list and return in the enclosed self-addressed stamped envelope, or by attachment if this is the email. All right, look at all the red here. This is what we're talking about. All right, last paragraph. What's the essential information? Okay, you're going to be glad to provide answers to any of your questions. Okay, so how about for all this, we'll delete that and just simply say, if you have any questions, of course it's going to be about your products. You don't have to say, please do not hesitate. If you have any questions, please write. Don't need any of this. Please write. I always like to include an immediate phone call. Writing doesn't make any sense. As a matter of fact, let's take that out too. And let's just say, please call me, make it personal, at, and then give your number for immediate assistance. If you have any questions, let's make this grammatical, comma, small p. If you have any questions, please call me. Right. So here we should have done a word count for this. I've got a word count for the total, but just what you want to do is get your communication down to the simplest, clearest, fewest words possible. You know, without sounding abrupt. This doesn't. It's still very polite and considerate. It still has you attitude. Thank you for your request. I'm providing you with this information, and I'm providing you with the tools you need to buy the products that you want from us, and offering assistance at the end with an immediate phone call. Okay, so I guess that's it for Plain Talk. If you have any questions, just email me, or if you'd like to talk more about any of these, or give me a call, just like this letter says. Thanks.